Hi there, I'm Matt with State of Flux, here with a review for The Last Duel. This movie is extraordinarily good. It is incredibly good. I just want to get that right out up on Front Street. This movie is written by Nicole Holofcener. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right, so I will compensate by mispronouncing the next couple of names that I throw at you. Co-written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, directed by Ridley Scott. Diddley Squat, really. He doesn't have much of an imprint on this film, Ridley Scott. He feels like a special guest director, because really the only thing that he really puts his stamp on is the gladiatorial combat that kind of bookends the film and the dark visuals. That said, this movie is exceptionally good. The screenplay has to get a nomination for Best Original or Best Adapted Screenplay. It is so captivating. It is essentially the Brett Kavanaugh trial by way of Rashomon. What it really is the horrific crime, this horrible rape of this young woman played extraordinarily well by Jodie Comer. She was in Free Guy earlier this year, and I thought she was the standout performance in that movie. She stole the movie away from Ryan Reynolds and all his charm. She owned that movie for me, and that was the first time I'd ever really seen her. She comes in here and she is sure to get an Oscar nomination. I would be flabbergasted if she does not get a nomination at the end of the year. Her performance is that good. She understands subtlety, she understands nuance, she understands when to give everything to the camera and when not to. It is just the perfect performance. Surrounding her are Matt Damon, who plays her husband, and he's kind of this battle-scarred oaf who is a knight who gets into conflict with his one-time sort of friend, played by Adam Driver, who is a bit of a stronger nobleman, a more like a knight that you would think of. He looks the part more. He carries himself more proper. And it's no mistake that he falls into the fold of Ben Affleck, who is the lord of the area. And what the film does is it dives into the different perspectives. You dive into the perspective of the husband, you dive into the perspective of the rapist, and you dive into the perspective of the victim. And it tells the story 3 different times, and you get different pieces of information and some scenes that are played exactly the same way, but you see it from a different perspective, and how when one person views their truth, it's completely different than when the next person views their truth. And when you're presented with the truth, it is quite jarring. But it's really the screenplay and the performances all around. I would not be surprised if any of the 3 male actors get a performance. Or a nomination for their performance. I'm convinced that Jodie Comer is going to get a nomination for hers. This screenplay needs to get nominated as well. Yeah. The only high praises to sing here. This is a 4-star movie. It is just so very good, and something that I encourage you to go and watch. It is 2.5 hours long, and it does feel its length, but it is a slow burn. However, if you're invested, as I was, right from the offset, it pulled me in pretty swiftly. I don't think that its runtime is undeserved. I thought it was captivating the entire time. And for any movie that explores sexual assault, I do have to give this one props for not being sexually exploitative. That's my biggest problem with a lot of movies. They tend to present a rape scene, but they photograph it in a way that is titillating or meant to aroused through the male gaze, and this movie really doesn't offer that. However, it does do something that I don't like, which is it like lingers in on the victim, and like you as an audience knows what's happening is terrible and traumatic. You don't need to see what's going on with the victim. It's always been more compelling to me when they have the camera not on the victim but on the person doing the assault, because you can see in them the complete lack of dignity and stuff like that. This film does focus a little too much on her. However, I do give it effort for not being like an arousing scene or a sexually explicit scene in the traditional sense. This isn't like Game of Thrones or I Spit on Your Grave or any number of those films that do feature rape. It is handled a lot more carefully. That said, I probably lost a lot of you when I like outed that is what this movie ultimately is about. However, it is the feminine perspective and the female's journey in this film that I found just absolutely stunning. And the film goes out of its way, kind of in all three versions of the story, to give her agency and her dignity and her ownership of her own character throughout the whole thing, much more so than either of the other two. This movie was really impressive to me. I give this movie 4 stars. Easily one of the best movies I've seen this year. And let me know what you think of it in the comments below. I urge you to see this, honestly. Take the time and check this movie out. It is a culturally important movie to see, especially since this is something that just keeps happening. This movie is based on a true story that happened in 1386. And we're still happening today. And that cannot be. And when big trials like this happen, it shouldn't be the victim that is put on trial. And that is what's so troubling. That said, check it out. This movie is extraordinarily good. She is like on her way to Oscar glory. I am convinced of it. And I'll be really disappointed if she doesn't at least get a nomination. Academy has a kind of bad habit of not electing the right people. That said, this is a Oscar bait kind of film, so she's probably got a stronger chance than most. Anyway, check out The Last Duel. Hit the bell, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.